over. Swapping. Hello? Did I link? I did, right? Let me see. Yes. I'm a genius. Hey. Hey. Chatters. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Hold on. Is that a this is an old Alveus hoodie. Your hair looks small. What? It's not what? What do you mean by that? No one's ever told me that before. Hello everybody. Welcome to Animal Quest episode 22. Why are they laughing? Wait, why is that so funny? Is there an inside joke that I'm missing? Hello? What is so funny? Small hair. Space, do you know what they're giggling about? Alright, we don't know what's going on. Thank you for that wonderful start. Guys, this is actually crazy. This is the last Animal Quest. What? No, it's not. It's the last Animal Quest until we get another ambassador, who I will do an Animal Quest on. 22 episodes. I'll bring it back if when we get another ambassador. Then there will be another Animal Quest. Don't you worry. I just don't know when. We got another one. Just means more ambassadors. Olivia, thank you for the sub. I can't hear alert. Semicolons donate $100. What? Oh. I love Twitch charity. This is the best week ever. Have you guys... Thank you so much. Welcome to the last Animal Quest, okay? This some of the information on this Animal Quest may be a little familiar because I have done a Winnie Animal Quest before. Were any of you there for that? Anybody there for the original Winnie Animal Quest? I did it. I focused on the beef industry. Yes, my first Animal Quest. Oh, nice. I saw a first time chatter in here that was like, what's Animal Quest? Let me tell you, Animal Quest is a series on this channel where I spotlight a species that we have here at Alveus. We do a whole episode on an animal and their species, what affects their wild counterparts, and what you guys can do to help. I have done an Animal Quest with Winnie before, but it was mostly on beef. I wanted to do a second one so I could talk to you guys about dairy. The dairy industry. It's a doozy. Okay, the beef one, I will argue, was slightly more of a doozy. Maybe it's because, dude, Tor with a $200 donation. Thank you so much. That is nuts. Thank you. Insane. Thank you so much. I will not be bringing Winnie in the studio today because that's crazy and she's too big. But we will be going out to see Winnie twice, not once, but twice throughout the stream so you guys can meet her. Okay? And I'm going to go out there at the end of the stream during the Q&A portion so we can chill with her while we do the Q&A. Got it? Today, we're going to go over a bunch of stuff. All right, we're going to go over cattle, how they produce methane, why cattle are hard on the environment, what beef labels and dairy labels you can look out for when you're grocery shopping if you're consuming animal products, and what milk alternatives you can look out for, and what they mean for the environment as well. There's a lot going on. All right. Are you guys ready? I'm doing my best here. Let me also note before I start this is all my own research, and a lot of it, there's a lot of my opinion in here as well, okay? This is not all definitive information, and I did my best with statistics. Guys, finding stats for the ag industry and its impact on the environment is absolutely horrific, okay? And I'm talking like 50% discrepancies, more, depending on what source you use, okay? The stats that PETA gives you versus the stats that the Oklahoma Beef Council gives you are vastly different for the exact same thing. So I did my best to compile the information that I thought was the most accurate, but you're gonna find lots of different information. So that's my disclaimer. But I really did my best here. I've been working on this for a couple weeks, actually, now. Oh. The camera is on Connor. Hold on. Well, it's not that one. It's... What? Right now? Click this. Yay. Hello? 10,000 bits? Hello? Aku? Thank you for the 10,000 bits. Holy moly. All right, now let's try. Okay. Hello, here I am. All right, now I gotta click into this. All right. Excellent, here we are. All right, the dairy industry. First, we start with who is Winnie, okay? This episode is based on Winnie, our, oh, interesting. Hello? Okay. This episode is based on Winnie the Moo, our Red Angus Cow ambassador at Alveus, and I'm going to show you guys the story of Winnie and how we got her before we dive into all the information. This is what we're doing this for. This is who this is about. That was me. I did that. I went and got her and came back. Maddie, thank you for the $100.
Who is this?
Dude. Is that loud for y'all too, or is that just me?
Hi, baby. Are you hungry?
The people that own the ranch are a family friend, and she knows about Alveus, and she knows that I wanted to get the cow as an ambassador for the
Look how
beef
small
industry
she was.
and the environmental impacts of the
my God.
agriculture industry, so she let me come pick her up. Because she was coming off a beef operation, she would be sent to auction as an adult, or when she was full grown, but now she's here forever. She's going to be freed.
Look how little.
Bye.
Whoa.
Winnie, what do you think? Get a little quick lap? You tired?
I made Winnie a birthday cake for her first birthday. It has one candle because she's 1 year old. Look, this is your birthday cake.
Winnie's
Birthday! Your birthday cake!
Exciting news about the birthday cake. Yay!
It was a grain cake surprise.
It's grain. Surprise.
Oh. Yeah. Oh. Yay! Winnie the Moo. So, as you guys saw there, Winnie we got from a cattle operation in Oklahoma. Her mom had mastitis and could not nurse her, so she was a bottle baby. Ranchers, it's hard to have bottle babies for ranchers because you have to bottle them 3 times a day, and that's a lot of extra work. The rancher so happens to be an old family friend and knew what I was doing here, and so allowed me to come and pick up Winnie and donated her to this program as an educational ambassador. Winnie is at the point, she's a beef cow, Red Angus beef cow. She would be slaughtered for beef by this point. So she would not have lived this long if she remained at that operation. But now she lives here forever for the duration of her life. Mutuals, thank you for the 35 months. Do you guys want to go see her? Do you want to see Winnie the Moo? We're going to switch to the backpack and go out there. And go see the baby cow. They want to go see Winnie. All right. All right. Show the baby. Okay. 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 Do you need me to stall? Okay. Hold, we're switching to the backpack. We're switching to the backpack. Did it swap? Okay. Thank you. All right. All right, chatters. Let's go see Winnie the Moo. The sound's only in their left ear. Why would that be? Hold. Maybe you're deaf in your right ear. Guys, do you think about that?
Okay, how about now?
What about now? I wouldn't know.
That should do it.
Okay. It's fixed. Jace. I almost died. If you guys have questions, you can ask them now. But also, if you have questions throughout the stream, you can do hashtag ask followed by your question, and I will answer them at the end of the video with Winnie. What's your favorite color? What a dumb question to ask me today. My favorite color is pink. I don't usually wear this much pink. I didn't really do this on purpose. I put this sweatshirt on and I was like, damn. But then I didn't change it, so it is what it is. Why is the baby cow so cute? I don't know. Cows are just really cute in general, I would argue. Oh. Hold. Contractors coming out the gate. Stand by. No escaping. Hi, Win. Look who it is. A baby cow. Guys, this is Winnie. This is Stompy. You don't have to worry about everybody else in here. Today's about Winnie. Winnie, say hello. Hi, Sarah. This is Winnie's friend, kind of. Okay. Winnie needs some fly spray. Winnie, come here. Horsey, come here. Guys, we don't have Flip today, we have Space as cameraman, and Space is usually swapping APs remotely, and now he's trying to do it while he's cameramanning. So please be patient. With the backpack. I'm getting some fly spray for Winnie right now. Also exciting news that involves Winnie. We're getting a new shelter built in the pasture, so they have extra space to get out of the rain and elements. Baby cow. Baby cow! Here she comes. Baby cow! Can I put fly spray on you, please? She's so round. She's a little bit round. We hate the flies. Get them off. Get them off. When you stop leaving. I got them off. All right. So Winnie is going to be 2 March 22nd. That makes her, what's her astrological sign? Do you guys know? I don't know. I don't remember. I think we talked about this before. She's going to be 2 March 22nd. Hello. She would have been shipped off for beef around her first birthday, which was March 22nd of this past year. She's a Red Angus beef cow, like I said on stream. And so she's a Libra, an Aries. Oh my God, she's such an Aries. That's funny. Red Angus beef is marketed the same in grocery stores as Black Angus beef or just Angus beef, if you guys have seen that in the grocery store. Red Angus is just popular in southern states because they're smaller and they tolerate the heat better because they're red and not black. So that's why she's a Red Angus beef cow. But yeah, she loves grain and not really other treats. She loves grain and she loves her ball and she loves drinking water. ASMR. Ew, did you see that string of saliva? She drinks like a toddler. You know how they breathe out really hard? Okay. I'm getting sick of this magnet situation. I used to really like them, now I don't. I keep losing them, it bothers me. Hold on, I'm clipping my mic on. Please. Winnie's probably between 700 and 800 pounds. This is her full grown. Honestly, I thought that she was gonna be taller than this. But this is it. She's kind of little. Hey, Winnie. Okay, I'm gonna fly spray at Sarah because he's really bothered right now. Horse, stop moving. Thank you.
Do you guys have any questions about Winnie before we go back up? Fly spray. To get them off of my legs. How do you make milk? All right, we're gonna talk about that when we go up there. Win? Are you excited? We are gonna come back down to see Winnie at the end of the stream so we can answer your guys' questions. We'll give her a nice brush. Winnie loves getting brushed. She loves getting squitches. Rate her on a scale of 1 to 10. 10, for sure. Hello. They do live outside in the pasture during winter. Winnie does pretty well with all weathers. Can Winnie carry you? She probably could. How would you describe her personality in a few words? Spicy. Confident. And relentless. She knows what she wants and she gets it. She does itches scratchy under her mouth. Dude, Winnie used to be so small. It's actually crazy how big she is now. She is slaying so hard. Does she moo? Yes, she does moo. If she had a hobby, what would it be? I don't know, probably being like a school administrator or something. Yelling at kids to get out of the way. Get out of the halls. Can she moo on command? No. Get that straw off her nose. I got it. Hi, Peach. All right, you guys want to go up and learn about Winnie, shall we? She loves stomping on toes. Oh, Winnie did break someone's toe a couple weeks ago. Yeah, she broke Rune's toe. Acero scared her, and Rune was petting her, and she stepped on her toe and broke it. Hello, buddy. All right, guys, let's go up. Let's learn about Winnie and then we'll come back down. Look, those get me all the time. Winnie like car. Her name is Winnie the Moo. Okay, she was named by a chatter, and it's the one time I will concede kick-ass name from a chatter. All right, I love that name. She's very much a Winnie, and I think it's really cute. It scared me. I thought Stompy was on the other side of the fence. Who trims their hooves? Winnie is working on letting us pick up her feet. I have a farrier for my horse who is willing to do some filing, but we may do it ourselves here. Hey, Stomp. Bonus Stompy content. Chicken. 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 Stompy's like, do my Animal Quest again. I will, on the Alveus channel. There have been 22 episodes of Animal Quest once a month for the past 22 months. I'm gonna restart from the beginning doing the Animal Quest on the Alveus channel because I know y'all don't remember what's in the first presentation from April of 2021 because I sure as hell do not. I'm gonna start doing them on the Alveus channel. So it'd be nice. Okay. Hooray! First one on December 21st. Will this be on a test? I might make quizzes on the Alveus channel. We'll see. We will see. First time here, perfect timing. Hello! Welcome to Animal Quest. I'm excited that you're here. This is a good one for you to watch. I have fun with these. I know they're not everybody's favorite because they can be a little dense, but it's important, okay? It's important information. So you better listen. Look, it's Beetle. Beetle! Alright. Alright, we're gonna do a swapperoo. No, goats.
Guys, I have to pee. Let me just pee and then I'll come back.
I keep busy.
Okay. Connor's gonna entertain you for just like time me. I'll be right back.
My peach. What's up, guys? Later, I'm going to show you how to castrate a bull. It's going to be a great time. Maya asked me to do it, so going to do it. It's going to be great. Camera is dark, isn't it? That is crazy. We'll brighten it up in a second. Live demonstration, castration. You guys ready? Castration live on stream? Yeah. I mean, I can't do it on me because I have a wife, and so I don't have any to show you, so it is what it is. Winnie has balls. Winnie does not have balls, so happen every time you stream with Kayla. Appreciate it, Mick. All right, space is fixing. Is it better? Also, you better hang around afterwards because we're doing a bobcat stream. By that, I mean not the animal. I mean the machine. And audio sounds bad. Is it? What's happening? Check 1 2.
What? You okay?
No,
What happened?
I died. I ate one of your
Dates?
No, I ate one of your almond joys that I gave you as a gift because they look so good. Okay. And then I died because of a piece of coconut went in the back of my mouth, like down my lung.
Thank you, Connor. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Animal Quest. All right, are we ready? Who's ready? Also, I would like to take a volunteer from the studio audience, and by studio audience, I mean y'all, for the castration demonstration later. That's all say me smile. Me smile. All right. Thank you all. Thank you all. That's very generous. Okay. So, are you guys ready? We're going to start here. Okay, we're going to start here. Cows and humans. Cows were first domesticated over 10,000 years ago. Over 10,000 years ago. And they've been put to a lot of purposes for humans. Okay, we have dairy. We have labor, draught, pulling things for us. We have beef cattle. They've been around a really long time. The dairy industry is what we're focusing on today. Cow's milk is consumed by more than 6 billion people worldwide. We're going to start off by giving you guys a little bit of scale for the size of this industry. Okay? Number 1, how big is it? You guys are going to answer this question by typing A, B, C, or D. You're guessing. If you get it wrong, you'll have bad luck forever. How many dairy cows are there in the world? In the world. Is it A, 10 million, B, 170 million cows, C, 200 million, or D, 270 million? For reference, we have 1 cow. Winnie. So multiply that by what you think the answer is, and that's how many cows you think there are in the world. Dairy cows. Did that help you? Am I breathing into the mic? Sorry. Can I call a friend for this? No! You cannot. Sorry for breathing into the mic. I'm done. Cassia, thank you for the $5 donation. All right. A bunch of people are guessing C. A bunch of people are guessing D. Most of you guessed D. most of you are correct. 270 million dairy cows in the world. That's a lot of cows. That's Winnie times like 270 million. That's a lot of cows. Okay, poll number 2. How many gallons of water does it take to produce 1 gallon of milk? In this question, you're not just taking into account how much water each cow drinks. You saw Winnie drinking quite a bit of water today. It's not just that. It's also the water required to run the operations, run dairy operations, the water required to grow the crops that are used to feed to these cows as well. It's not just how much they drink. Is it A, 95 gallons of water per 1 gallon of milk, B, 144 gallons of water per 1 gallon of milk, C, 650 gallons per 1 gallon of milk, or D, 1,100 gallons of water per gallon of milk? Space is giving you guys some non-freedom unit digits in chat if you're an EU frog. I'm going to be honest, all of these answers are pretty crazy. The correct answer is B. So most of you are wrong, but it's good that most of you are wrong because you thought it was more. 144 gallons of water per 1 gallon of cow's milk. Pretty wild number. What is that in liters? Could you grab that really quick? 144 gallons is how many liters? 545 liters of water per 1 liter of cow's milk. Pretty wild. So a lot of things that we're gonna talk about. 3 big things today. Okay, water use is one of them, land use is another one, and then emissions is another one. Number 3, how many gallons of manure and urine are produced by a dairy cow each day? Okay, for reference, there's 1 Winnie, so you can use her for an example. How much waste does Winnie produce each day? A, 1 gallon, B, 6 gallons, C, 14 gallons, or D, 17 gallons. 1 cow per day. How many gallons of waste or gallon of waste is produced? Most people guessed 6 gallons of waste. Wrong. Can you maybe put this in liters? Each dairy cow could produce up to 17 gallons of manure and urine per day. If you watch the Alveus streams often, you'll see that we muck that pasture every day, and they produce a lot of waste. That's 64 liters of poo-poo and pee-pee every day. Tell me that. Okay, sorry. There have been contractors in the insect room, and I just got really scared that they were in there. I'd be mortified right now. 17 gallons a day of poo-poo pee-pee. Crazy. And I'm going to talk about why good fertilizer. Okay, good point. We're going to talk about that, but I'm going to talk about why the amount of waste that they're producing is a problem for our environment. But that's just for scale for you guys. So you know how much we're talking. Okay, we're going to dive straight into it. A lot of this information is not super fun to talk about. Right? The dairy industry can be really sad. The beef industry can be really sad. And so there's a lot. We're going to start talking about animal welfare right now. Okay? So Hammy asked in the pasture, how do you make milk? I don't know if that was a genuine question. Honestly, very possible that it was. But I will give you a genuine answer. Lactation, or making milk, only happens if the cow is pregnant or nursing, right? Mammals don't produce milk unless they're pregnant or nursing. It actually was. Okay, fine. You didn't have to say that, but fine. Cows don't, I think a lot of people think that cows just produce milk. I think people think like, oh, girl cows make milk, right? Do you guys think that? I've talked about this before on stream, and I was shocked at how many people in chat were like, yeah, don't they just make milk? And then we like milk them. That's not the case. That's not the case. They have to be pregnant or nursing to make milk. So they have to be artificially inseminated regularly so that they're constantly producing milk. This whole system is pretty whack, if I'm being honest. And I have an agriculture degree, and I've been a part of this industry, or I've been around this industry for my whole life. The process for the dairy industry is because female cows have to be pregnant or nursing to produce milk. They're artificially inseminated. If they have a girl, the girl is usually brought into the dairy industry as well. So she will start getting inseminated regularly, like annually, so that she's always producing milk. And if it's a boy, they usually go to the veal industry because boy cows can't make milk. And so they're pretty useless for the dairy industry. They are useful for the veal industry. Do you guys know what veal is? I bet some of you do and some of you don't. Baby cow, yeah. So this is a picture of a veal calf, and I grabbed this picture, Shrez grabbed this picture of Winnie, a screenshot from a stream where she was between 16 and 18 weeks old. They're usually slaughtered between 16 and 18 weeks. So that's a picture of Winnie at 16 to 18 weeks, and this is a picture of a veal calf between 16 and 18 weeks. The male dairy calves that are born are usually shipped off and become a veal product. So they're separated from their mom and then slaughtered between 16 and 18 weeks. A lot of people eat veal. I guess the idea is that it's more lean, more tender, doesn't have muscle built up, and usually they're fed a liquid diet so that it just makes the meat really tender. It's a delicacy for a lot of people. So that's the difference between what happens when there's a female calf and a male calf. The females go back into the dairy industry. The male usually go to veal. However, even the females that go into the dairy industry, they only work in the dairy industry for about 4 to 5 years. That's their peak of production. And so after about 5 years, they don't produce as well as they did before. So even the females, after they do 4 to 5 years of being a dairy cow, are slaughtered for beef, usually like ground beef. 20%, 15 to 20% of the beef in the US comes from the dairy industry, because we eat a lot of really cheap beef, like hamburgers, fast food hamburgers and stuff like that. That doesn't have to be a really high quality beef. It can be a cow that's like 5 years old, that's been like working for 5 years, because it's just a really cheap cut of beef. And so 15 to 20% of the beef that we eat in the US comes from the dairy industry. So there's not really any winning for the cows in this industry. Does that all make sense for you guys? Did I explain all of that? I think so. I think those are all my bullets. Oh, a bonus? There's Winnie attacking a tripod between 16 and 18 weeks old. So baby Winnie, like if she was a male dairy calf, would have been slaughtered at this point for veal, which is just crazy to think about. So that is the overarching, Connor, if you can hear this, I need you to come back in here. That is the overarching system of the dairy industry. One that I think generally and pretty objectively speaking is pretty grim. So I want you guys to understand, if anything from today, that cows don't just make milk. Okay? If you just learned this information, I just explained this process to you and you had no idea, I'm sorry. But I think it's important for people to know that. Because I think a lot of people think they see the labels on dairy cartons and they think that cows are just out in a grass field and you just go out and milk them and come back. And brown cows do not make chocolate milk. No. So, next, and there's a lot more here. We're going to talk about some husbandry methods. Can you message Connor and tell him to come in here? Husbandry methods within the beef industry. A lot really similar to the dairy industry. I'm just going to tell you about some of the stuff that goes down in there. Some of the things are for the safety of the people that take care of these cows and for the safety of the cows themselves so they don't hurt each other. However, a lot of the processes are pretty outdated and still super gnarly. And so I want to tell you guys about some of them. One of them I've talked about before. I talked about, I think with the beef one, is disbudding and dehorning. So they do this with goats, they do this with sheep, they do this with cattle, and it's one, to keep the cows safe from each other because they're all in a very small space, and to keep the people that take care of the cattle safe from the cattle as well, because if they have horns, they can be really dangerous, if you guys, as you guys have seen with our goats. So disbudding and dehorning, growing up, the most common method that I saw for disbudding was burning. So they have electric disbudders, and it is like a cylinder that just gets really, really, really hot. And they put it where the horn would grow out on the top of their head so that the horn will never grow, because it like kills all that tissue. Does it hurt? Yeah, it does. I think a lot of the animals go into shock when they're getting disbudded via a disbudding tool, like a burning tool, which I guess going into shock may help them, but it definitely does hurt. And I'm going to tell you guys about food labels and the ones that require pain relievers when they're doing these processes. But when I say the ones, I mean there's actually only one label that requires pain control when doing stuff like this. The rest of them don't, which is really crazy. People also use caustic paste for disbudding and dehorning, which is pretty gnarly. And then saws and scoops sounds exactly what it sounds like, is exactly what it sounds like. It's just a super gnarly process as well, to prevent horns from growing on baby animals before those horns grow in. That's disbudding. Dehorning happens after the horns have grown in. And so that's usually where like the saws would come in and the scoops would come in. If they already have a horn, it's a much crazier process to get that horn or those horns removed. I have been there for a dehorning process as a kid, and it was the bloodiest thing I've ever seen in my life, and I'm super traumatized by it. So yeah, dehorning is worse than disbudding. Disbudding is also pretty gnarly. So the other thing that we have to talk about is castration. Castration, super common practice in cattle, both beef and dairy cattle. Which, again, a lot of these husbandry methods are to keep cows safe from each other and keep the people who are taking care of them safe from the cows. You can't have a ton of non-castrated male cows together, right? Our donkeys and my horse were castrated as babies, and you can't have 3 stallions in one place. And so sometimes it's something that has to be done. But the methods for doing it are super outdated. There are some methods that are much better than others. For Pee-wee, when I got Pee-wee castrated, I took him to the vet. He got entirely knocked out and had a castration or like a neutering like a dog. When I say castration, I mean neutering, right? So Pee-wee went to the vet and got neutered like a dog would. He got completely knocked out. But there are some outdated methods for castration in cattle and dairy cattle that Connor is going to explain to you.
Hello, chat. Check 1, 2. Yep, it's working. I'm gonna need a Red Bull for this one because, well, you know, very tasty. All right. So, if you are queasy, mute, just know it's bad. There are right ways to do this, like Maya said. That's all just kind of outdated. When you're looking at cattle, dairies, you're looking at production. How can you spend the least amount of time and get the most product? How can you spend the least amount of money and get the most product? Just how capitalism works. So it's not always great for the animals, and that's why labels are very important and different regulations to get these corporations to give them an incentive, money, to do things better. Because what they're doing right now is we're going to talk about 2 forms of bad types of castration, and then we'll talk about the better type and then the best type. So
He came up with the demonstrations, for the record.
these are bull balls, okay? Testicles, vas deferens. What else? Help me with the ball anatomy. The scrotum. the
I think they get it.
there's whatever urethras. Yes, balls. So imagine these are balls. One way that they would do it is they would take a rubber band. This is the fastest, most preferred way to do it. They take a rubber band that's super, super tight, and they open it up, put this clamps on here, and then clamp it down.
I can show you guys.
Do you have a rubber band?
I do have a. Well, I have my like hair
Scrunchy?
ties.
Oh, I was looking for one. Mine will pretend to be the vice grips.
It goes on it's a band that actually is like not far from this size.
Yeah.
It's a little smaller. And it goes on like a little device like this, and it spreads it open like this, right? And then I don't know if it's gonna fit.
Oh, if it fit on bull, it can fit on these.
And then you let go, and then it bands it like that. It's very, very tight. It's way tighter than that. That's just an example.
So banding, it's crazy tight. Like if you didn't have tools, you couldn't move it. And what it does is it cuts off blood circulation to the testicles and the scrotum, and it all just falls off. It rots off. It is gross. It sucks. It's painful. It takes forever and introduces infection to the bull. They'll often come through and spray with antibiotics, but it sucks. So the next method is they'll cut and cauterize, exactly what you think it will. They'll just have the bull in the chute, no anesthesia, no nothing. They'll come in, cut. They have a little device that just slices it off, and then they'll cauterize it and put antibiotic ointment on it, like the purple spray that you see us put on the donkeys on their feet. That all sucks. Then the better method that is not quite at the standard that we would like is you have these clamp devices. These are tongs, but imagine they're clamp devices. What they do is you have it hanging here. You come in and you clamp to where it severs all the blood vessels inside of the scrotum, and then the balls slowly shrivel up and get reabsorbed and they die. That's crazy painful, but it's instant. It heals up, but it crimps it on the inside. So it's all like internal surgery basically without actually having to cut them up. It hurts really bad. I've had to help with this. It's not great. I've had to do it with goats. We used
Someone asked to explain cauterizing.
Cauterizing?
Or just like what it is.
Cauterizing, burning.
Yeah.
Burning it shut. But I've had to help with goats before do this, and we used lidocaine. It was not great. It still didn't do a lot. So the more ideal method, which just is not economical for farmers to do at this point, unless there was labels that made it an incentive for people to pay more for that product, then farmers might be willing to do painkillers, steroids, non-steroidal anti-inflammatories technically for afterwards. So the clamping method, if it was done, it can be done fast. It can be pretty stress-free. But if the animal has proper analgesics or painkillers, both pre and post procedure, it is much better for them. But that means the farmer has to spend so much more time and money on that animal, and it's hard to keep up with the animal. Or look again. What Maya did with Pee-wee, that's not reasonable for everybody. If it's a pet goat, probably should do that.
My neighbor thought I was insane.
Yeah, like production-wise, what can I say the price?
I don't remember how much it was.
It's $300.
Oh, I thought it was more than that.
It was $300, which is reasonable for for what they did. But $300 versus something they can do for 10 cents really quick while they're in the chute, like it's just economically just doesn't make sense. Anyway, cool.
Joe also brought up, and I wasn't gonna bring this up because it's like it's not a common. Well, actually, I mean, it is like a traditional thing. People do castration with their teeth. You've seen that. Have you not?
No.
There's farmers that are like real, yeah. They will. Is it lambs and reindeer? Yeah, some farmer. It's like I don't know. I don't think they do it like for everyone. I think it's more just like you got to do that thing. And they'll castrate them with their teeth.
Oh, okay. Like eat the heart of your first deer that you killed.
That kind of thing, maybe.
I
don't know that much about it, but Joe brought that up, and I have seen that. Definitely, yeah, it is a thing.
If they're small enough, you could do it. That's rough.
Yeah.
But what happens is with a lot of these infections go unnoticed. It's very painful. And sometimes, if not done appropriately, that animal has to be euthanized because there's antibiotics that they can't put in the dairy or meat cows.
Human teeth. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, like they go up and like rip it off. Yeah. And then the last thing I have on here, which you might have like a little bit to say about, is branding.
Oh.
Branding more popular in beef than dairy. I don't actually know how much branding goes on in dairy, but it's just for identification. So you know what cattle are yours, especially because a lot of areas you share a fence with another cattle ranch, and so you have to be able to tell your cows apart. And so branding happens with a hot iron or a cold iron. Hot iron at 968 degrees Fahrenheit. Cold iron at negative 321 degrees Fahrenheit. Cold irons are getting much more popular now. My understanding is that it hurts less in the moment, but then hurts more in the healing process. Hot irons hurt more in the moment, but then are like easier to heal or something.
I think where I've seen more branding such a traditional thing at this point. Sorry, I was breathing in the mic there. I think ear tags has been like the way that most farmers go nowadays because it's a little bit easier, a little bit safer to handle. And I think branding is probably a big Texas thing because it's, tradition.
People are really proud of their brands.
Well,
they brand horses too.
And there's like a whole thing, like it's a part of people's marketing too. Like you go to the county, you register your brand, it's copyrighted towards you, it's enforceable. There's a lot more law protections around a branded cow than there is a ear tag cow. It's easier to take people to court if they do mess with your branded tags. Anyway, yeah, because people can swap out ear tags, they can't swap out brands. So it's this whole thing. Regardless, if branding does need to happen, ethically the way to do it would be a lot of pre and post medication to help with pain and antibiotics, sprays, stuff like that, which again doesn't really happen because it's more expensive, more time intensive, and good luck getting a cow back after you put them in a field and you just branded them and they're going to run away from you the next day when you try to medicate them. And also the NSAIDs, pain medications, if an animal dies with that in it, a vulture comes down, eats it, the vulture dies. So then the farmers are in huge trouble for killing vultures. So anyway, you need anything else?
Nope. Thank you.
Coco.
If you guys have questions, you can do #ask followed by your question. I will answer them at the end of the stream. Anyway, I wanted to give you guys some context on the stuff that goes down, some of the outdated methods of husbandry in these industries, in the dairy industry in particular, because that's what we're talking about today. There's obviously places that do it better and places that do it really, really poorly. But just know that this is stuff that happens in the dairy industry, okay? I'm not talking every operation, but it does happen. I put a little warning here. If you don't want to see pictures of this stuff happening, I didn't pick like crazy pictures, but don't look right now because I'm going to show you guys some pictures and explain what's happening in the pictures. There's just 3 of them, and then we're going to move on. Number 1, this is what I was talking about with disbudding. So the disbudding tool is a hot iron. And so you burn the 2 spots in the baby's heads where the horns are going to grow out of, and then they don't grow because all of that tissue is now dead. This is branding. This is a cattle operation. So really traditional, like old-fashioned cattle operations will rope calves and hold them down and brand them. And that's it. Okay, sorry. But yeah, so there's some context for animal welfare. If that is not enough, we're going to talk about ag and its impact on the environment. Again, this stuff is very controversial. The impact on the environment that agriculture has is very controversial, and it depends on who you ask what they think about it. But I'm going to tell you my opinion based on the research that I have done for this presentation. Okay. Animal agriculture and the environment. Agricultural lands take up 40% of Earth's land surface. 40% of Earth's land surface, okay? So agricultural lands take up a lot of space. About 66% of that 40% is dedicated to animal agriculture, livestock, poultry, right? So most of the land that is occupied by agriculture is occupied by animal agriculture. About 70% of our world's freshwater usage is dedicated to agriculture. 70% of our world's freshwater for agriculture, and about 40% of that 70% is for animal agriculture. So again, the majority of the water that is going to agriculture is going into animal agriculture. Cows in particular have a severe impact on our environment, way more so than some of the other animals that are part of our industrial animal agriculture system. Why? Because cows produce methane. Have you guys heard me talk about this before? Cows produce methane, which is a greenhouse gas. I'm going to draw how this works for you. And then I'm going to show you a video on how greenhouse gases work. And then I'm going to tell you how much cows contribute. Okay, Space, can you zoom in on me here? I'm going to draw you a really accurate diagram of how cows produce methane. Here's a cow. Oh, cow. It's really zoomed in. This is a cow. Okay? Cows are ruminants. You ever wonder why Winnie can only eat grass for her whole life and be 700, 800 pounds with a bunch of muscle? But if you ate grass only, you would die. You would perish. You cannot digest that and convert it into muscle and fat. Yeah, what's that about? Winnie's a ruminant. She's got 4 stomachs, okay? So, if Winnie eats grass, this is Winnie eating grass. Do you understand? Okay, great. So, here's 4 stomachs. Winnie eats grass. It goes into the first chamber of her stomach, which is called the rumen. This is why they're called ruminants. Ruminant. Inside of this rumen, this is it zoomed in. Okay, look. This is inside the rumen. Ooh. These are microbes. Hold on, I need to get my notes. Those are microbes. Inside of Winnie's rumen, there are over 200 species of microbes. Those microbes we do not have. And what they do is help break down things like grass into materials that Winnie can use to grow big and strong. Okay? When they eat this grass, yum 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 yum. Okay, they're eating all this grass, right? Digesting all this grass in her rumen. They, as a byproduct, create methane. Methane is CH4. Okay? They create methane in Winnie's rumen. Winnie can't hold a bunch of methane in. So she burps methane out and farts methane out. Methane is a greenhouse gas that lasts not as long in the atmosphere as CO2. It lasts like decades in our atmosphere, but it is far more potent. Okay? That is how, you can zoom back out. That is how Winnie produces methane. Ruminants produce methane. Goats, cows, deer. All right? So they produce a greenhouse gas and they burp it out and they fart it out. This is why that's a problem. This is what greenhouse gases are.
What is the greenhouse effect? Earth is a comfortable place for living things. It's just the right temperature for plants and animals, including humans, to thrive. Why is Earth so special? Well, one reason is the greenhouse effect. A greenhouse is a building with glass walls and a glass roof. The clear glass allows sunlight to shine into the greenhouse while also trapping the sun's heat inside. This is how a greenhouse keeps plants warm even at night and in the winter. The greenhouse effect keeps Earth warm in pretty much the same way. Earth isn't surrounded by glass, but it is surrounded by a jacket of gases called the
Greenhouse
atmosphere.
gases.
In the daytime, the sun shines through the atmosphere, warming Earth's surface. After the sun goes down, Earth's surface cools. This releases heat back into the air, but some of that heat is trapped by the gases in the atmosphere. These heat-trapping gases are called greenhouse gases. Carbon dioxide, water vapor, and methane are all examples of greenhouse gases. Earth needs a balance of greenhouse gases to maintain just the right temperature for living things. But some human activities are changing Earth's natural greenhouse effect. For example, burning fossil fuels like coal and oil releases more carbon dioxide into our atmosphere. These extra greenhouse gases can cause the atmosphere to trap more and more heat, leading to a warmer Earth. NASA satellites are constantly measuring the gases in our atmosphere from space. They've observed increases in the amounts of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases. The information from NASA satellites can help scientists figure out where greenhouse gases are coming from and how they are ending up in our atmosphere. This information will help us better understand the impact that greenhouse gases have on our climate and help us better understand this very special greenhouse that we call home. Find out more about our Earth at NASA Climate Kids.
Yes, I had you watch a kid's video. I thought it would be best for you. Okay? Don't get too upset about that. All right, makes sense to you guys? We need some greenhouse gases in our atmosphere, right? To have it be a livable temperature. But because we produce so many cows for the beef industry and the dairy industry, we have too much methane going into our atmosphere. When we have too much trapping the heat in our greenhouse, we have global warming, climate change, more extreme weather events, drought, wildfires. Cool? Cool. How much do cows impact this compared to other animals in animal agriculture? Pretty freaking severely. Check out this chart. This is global estimates of emissions by species in CO2 equivalent, which I will admit to you guys is a controversial thing to measure by because, like I said, methane does not last in the environment nearly as long as carbon dioxide. But it is more potent. And so they tried their best to make it an equivalent of CO2 just so it could all be put on the same scale. So you look at beef cattle and dairy cattle here. Crazy, crazy high numbers there of global estimates of emissions by these two species. The next one we have pigs. Actually, I think lamb is between those, but it's not on this. Pigs, buffalo, chickens, small ruminants, and then other poultry going down. Okay, so just so you guys have a little visual of how much cows impact the environment. The other ways that cows impact our environment, not just our atmosphere. Remember how much they poop and pee from earlier today? Remember how much they poop and pee? So the excess waste is also a problem. This video is going to show you why.
What is eutrophication? It's a problem that should matter to you whether you live near the ocean or not. That's because it begins wherever people live and ends with damage to resources we all use and enjoy. It all starts when nutrients get into lakes and oceans. Remember, what's waste to humans can be food to plants and other creatures. Nutrients feed algae like they do other plants. Algae grows and blocks sunlight. Plants die without sunlight. Eventually, the algae dies too. Bacteria digest the dead plants, using up remaining oxygen and giving off carbon dioxide. If they can't swim away, fish and other wildlife become unhealthy or die without oxygen. But it doesn't have to be this way. Protecting marine resources starts with sound agricultural and waste management practices.
Okay, so eutrophication. Have you guys ever heard of that? The problem is, remember how I said, oh, they poop and pee a lot, and people are like, good fertilizer, right? People use animal poop as fertilizer because it has a ton of nutrients in it to help grow other plants. When there's a ton of waste and it runs off, fertilizer runs off into our oceans or into waterways, algae feeds on it because it's fertilizing a plant, algae, right, in the water, and then algae will take over that waterway. So it'll get covered in algae. Same with the fertilizers that we're putting on our crops and the fertilizers that we're putting on crops to grow for animal agriculture to feed cattle. Those fertilizers will run off into our waterways, and we get things like red tide, algal blooms, eutrophication, and the top of the water will be covered by algae. That is a problem because no light can get through the algae. So then all the plants underneath die. And then the bacteria that's being used to break down all of the dying stuff uses up all of the oxygen in the water, and so everything will suffocate in that water system if light cannot get through the surface. So runoff from fertilizers, one fertilizer being the excessive amount of waste that comes from beef and dairy industries, is causing our water systems to perish. Thank you for the $175 donation. It's crazy. Thank you. So random. Does that make sense to you guys? You guys know what eutrophication is now? Cool? Yeah, makes sense, makes sense. All right, let's see what's next. So, I have something interesting to talk to you guys about. Let's talk about dairy alternatives. Okay, this is part of this episode, is talking about dairy alternatives. How many of you guys are lactose intolerant? Can you do a poll, actually? Is it too late to ask you to run a poll? Can you run a poll, lactose intolerant, yes or no? Hold on. Space is going to run a poll. I want you guys to answer it. I just want to see for myself, and then I'm going to talk about it. Also, for the record, a lot of you probably are and just don't want to admit it. Stand by. Lucid Fire said, no, we aren't. Lucid Fire speaks for the whole chat. He said you aren't lactose intolerant, so if you are, you're going to have to take it up with him. I'm cured. Can there be like a third option? I don't think so. I don't think that there is a... I don't think there's another option. Are you lactose intolerant, yes or no? All right, we're looking at 3070. Interesting, interesting. Interesting, interesting. All right. 33% and 64% and 66%. Okay, how many people so weak milk defeats them? No, let me explain. 75% of humans have a hard time digesting milk and dairy products. 75%. There's only a fourth of the population that can easily digest dairy products. You want to know why? We digest lactose. Okay, lactose intolerance. Lactose is in milk, right? It's disaccharide in milk. We digest lactose with lactase. Lactase is an enzyme. When do we have the most lactase? Before the age of 3. Because we need lactase when we're babies because we're drinking milk from our mothers. 75% of humans experience a gradual lactase drop between 3 and 5 years old. So it becomes harder and harder to digest milk as you get older because our body stops producing the enzyme that we need to break down milk because we're not drinking milk anymore because we're adults. Does that make sense to you guys? I'm surprised so many of you said that you're not. I feel like most people I talk to nowadays are lactose intolerant. So there are people who still have enough of that enzyme, who have enough lactase to digest lactose. But a lot of us don't have enough of that enzyme because we stop producing it after the age of 5 because we naturally aren't drinking milk anymore. And so that's what the body thinks we need to do. You know those, if you're lactose intolerant, you know those pills that you can take that you can like dissolve or put on whatever you're eating before you eat cheese or ice cream or something like that, that has lactase enzyme in it. So it helps you digest the lactose. Lactaid, yeah. Does that make sense? Someone said it sounds like you're working backwards to get to that conclusion. I'm trying to figure out what they mean by that. What do you mean? I don't know what that means. You need lactase to digest lactose. We stop producing most of us stop producing lactase around the age of 5 years old. That's why it's hard for a lot of us to digest lactose because we don't have lactase anymore. Does that make sense? Lactase activity is highest at birth and in the first few years of life. We stop at 5, but why? Because other mammals stop drinking milk after they're done nursing. Because that's how mammals work. Mammals drink milk when they're babies and then they start eating food and they stop. Milk is for babies. That's why. Animals stop producing lactase because there's no reason to have it anymore because we're not supposed to be digesting lactose anymore because we're not babies anymore. Okay? Are you guys, do I need to say it one more time? I feel like I've said the same thing a bunch of times. Does it make sense? You guys are all babies. That's what I'm saying. All right. Cool. So, here's what we're going to do now then. Say you want to try milk alternatives, okay? Say you want to try milk alternatives. We're going to talk about them because there are a lot of arguments. There's a lot of different alternatives for dairy milk. Throw some at me. What do you got? What dairy alternatives have you seen in stores? Oat milk, almond milk, Silk is almond milk. It's a brand. Soy milk, cashew milk, rice milk, almond milk, oat pea milk, coconut milk. All right, great. Yeah. So this is a hard question to answer. Is like if you want to switch to a non-dairy alternative for milk, and you're doing it for environmental reasons, which one do you pick, right? Which one's best for the environment? Because you guys have probably heard about how much water it takes to grow an almond, right? That was big in the news. And a bunch of other products where it's like, is this really better for the environment? I'm gonna show you guys. The answer that I am going to rank them based on my opinion, okay? It's not definitive. I'm just gonna give you my opinion based on like me weighing out all of the research that I've done. But it really depends on what you care the most about. I made this, smile. This shows the environmental impact per glass of milk with all of these alternatives. So it is based on the emissions from that glass of milk, the land use, and the water use. So it kind of depends on what you care about the most. I will say dairy is a pretty clear no. Dairy is pretty bad in relation to the rest of the alternatives. This is not an opinion based on the research that I have found. There's no comparison for what's better to the planet between dairy and any other type of milk alternative. Okay, dairy is much, much worse for the environment, right? But first you have almond in yellow there. Almond, pretty high emissions, pretty high water use. It's really hard to like compare. You're just gonna have to kind of look at what the biggest bars are. Rice, high water use, really high emissions. Rice actually produces methane. The rice paddies, they build up bacteria in the fields, and that bacteria emits methane. So rice is actually pretty high in emissions there. You'll see soy and oat when you look at water use are like, you can't even see them on the graph. I'm going to walk you through each one of these, okay? Oh, I'm going to walk you through each one of them. Your graph is hard to understand. Was it? I went through a couple different graphs and I was like, what's the easiest to understand? I felt like it was that one. I'm sorry. Okay. Here's my ranking. Are you ready? I'm going to go from worst to best. In my opinion, the first one is not my opinion. Dairy's the worst. It's just a fact. For the environment, dairy is by far the worst, okay? The average cow belches 220 pounds of methane per year. What? Cows belch 220 pounds of methane per year. That's a lot of emissions. As manure decomposes, methane and ammonia are released. Okay, that's that eutrophication. Dairy requires 12 times more land than oat milk and 23 times more water than soy milk. And it takes 144 gallons of water to make 1 gallon of milk. So, dairy's bad. Okay, next up. I'm going to go from worst to best, in my opinion, of milk alternative rankings. But any of these, from this point on, are better than dairy. Does everybody understand? Great. Okay. Rice milk, I'm going to put at the bottom of the alternatives because of what I just said earlier. It has pretty low land use, but it has almost as much water use as almonds, which is really high for the alternatives. And the emissions are high because the bacteria in paddy fields emits methane, and also some rice milk contains arsenic. So I was like, I'm gonna put that at the bottom. Okay, so rice is at the bottom for me. Next up, we have almond milk. I know this is really popular, and this is gonna devastate some people. Again, any of these better than dairy. Like, if you're like, oh, but I love almond milk and I want to do that instead of dairy, do it, please. Like, that's so much better. It's fine. Stick with it, okay? I'm just going in order of like, worst to best, but the worst is fine. Almond milk, lowest greenhouse gas emissions of any milk. That's because almond trees, mature almond trees that are producing a bunch of almonds are sequestering carbon because it's a tree. Smile. So that's good. Low emissions because they're sequestering carbon, but it has the highest water use out of all of the alternative milks that are on the market. All of the popular alternative milks that are on the market. Highest water use, okay, for almond milk. But lowest greenhouse gas emissions. So if that's what you care about, almond milk's great. If you care about the water use, it's not so great, right? Next up, I have coconut milk. Very little water, very little water, but it's a monocrop. So deforestation happens for the coconut trees to be planted. And the problem with coconut milk is shipping has big emissions because most are grown in tropical areas. So they have to ship this product, at least, I mean, for me, I'm in the US, right? It's pretty crazy shipping. Also, very personal opinion, I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm not a big coconut milk fan. It's okay. I don't know. It's not my favorite one. But yeah, there's a lot of emissions in the shipping that has to happen. Also, I'm just going to read you this headline. This is not like a huge problem for the coconut milk industry, but it is something that I found when I was researching, and I was like, what in the hell? Hold on. Stores ban monkey labor coconut products. A total of 15,000 stores have banned brands permanently, including 9,200 Walgreens in the United States, as well as 276 cost plus world markets. PETA visited 8 coconut farms in Thailand and found chained monkeys that were forced to pick up coconuts. Companies used animal labor because monkeys can pick up the fruit much faster than humans, thus helping to speed up production. I'm talking about coconut milk right now. Apparently, there's like monkey labor. I'm saying that. I say that lightly because I don't think it's like common and widespread. It's just something that I saw online when I was reading about coconut milk, and I was like, what in the hell? They really did. They had to shut down like a series of farms for using monkey labor. Crazy. So anyway, coconut, it goes dairy, rice, almond, coconut. My top 2. Soy is up next. Soy milk, super low emissions. Soy is a legume. Okay, so it helps with nitrogen fixation, which means it takes nitrogen out of the air and fixates it in the soil to make it into compounds that plants can use to grow. So it actually is productive because it helps with nitrogen fixation. But the unfortunate thing about soy and the controversial thing about soy is that it takes a lot of land to produce. And currently, some soy production is contributing to deforestation of the Amazon. There's some soy that is grown in really important rainforests in the world, and so soy is a little bit of a controversial one, but the emissions are so low that I put it really high. And a lot of people are like super stand behind soy milk as being the best alternative that we have. When I say it's contributing to the deforestation of the Amazon, I mean nowhere near other things, okay? Nowhere near logging, nowhere near cattle ranching, okay? But it is grown there. So that's why it's my second best. My top milk alternative is soy milk. Soy milk has 80% less emissions, 80% less land, there's 80% less emissions, 80% less land use, and 92.5% less water use than the dairy industry. What did I just say? Why are you saying what? Why are you saying wait? I just said soy. I meant to say oat. Oat is my number 1. It's not soy. Soy is second. Oat is number 1. I may have just read it on my paper. Oat. Oat milk. Sorry. Oat milk has 80% less emissions, 80% less land, and 92.5% less water use than the dairy industry. Those are crazy stats. The only negative really that I could find on soy is that it's a monoculture, or it's a monocrop like other things. So when you grow soy, you have to grow it all together as a crop. But as is life. So my ranking, Space, can you zoom in? My ranking at the top, oat milk, then soy milk, then coconut milk, then almond milk, then rice milk, and dairy. This is my definitive ranking. You want to talk about taste? I think I've tried all of these. I haven't done this research before, so I actually did not know which one was best, but I get oat milk in my drinks that I buy. Like when I go to Dunkin' Donuts or whatever, I add oat milk because I think it tastes the best. So I actually like oat milk a lot. Soy milk I also like. I've gotten it a couple times. This is what Kayla gets in her lattes. She's a big fan of soy milk. I think it also tastes really good. I'm not a huge fan of coconut milk myself. It's not really for me. But this is all personal preference, guys. You know, I don't know. I hate cucumbers, so take this with a grain of salt. Almond milk is fine. It's probably the most popular of the milk alternatives. It's fine. And then rice milk, actually I've never had rice milk, so I can't give you guys an answer on that. What do you think? These are my rankings. Okay, again, I know this is very linear and very like definitive, and you might look at this and be like, oh no, my almond milk, it's not good. Yes, it freaking is. Okay, I don't care which one of these you consume, as long as you try to consume them over this one, because this one is such a nightmare. Okay, anything is better than dairy, any of these. If you are drinking almond milk, go forth and conquer. Okay, valid, that's fine. This is all like, this is nitpicky stuff here, up here. But if you are looking at switching to a milk alternative, I would put these two at your best bet. Okay? I'm sorry, I know there are some other, like I know there's like hemp and cashew and stuff. This is all the research that I did. Is these ones. Okay. Fusion back out. All right. Next up, you guys. Say you are not ready to swap to a milk alternative. Say you're like, I want to drink dairy still. Okay? Because I know there are some of you that don't want to give up dairy milk. And I know there's some of you who probably live in your parents' house, and they're certainly not going to switch to almond milk, right? They buy a gallon of milk a week. Well, my family does that too, right? Say you're not ready, but you want to learn more about the dairy industry. The stuff that I'm about to tell you is not going to help with the environmental impact. It is only going to help with welfare. Okay? The other thing about all of these that makes them better than dairy is that you never have to worry about the animal welfare. Except for like controversially maybe coconuts for like just like a little tiny sliver. But all of these, you don't have to worry about animal welfare, which is awesome. If you're consuming dairy, there's environmental and animal welfare that you have to consider, okay? So if you don't want to make the switch to a milk alternative just yet, you're not ready, or you still really like milk, but you want to learn about how to make the best choices in your purchases for cows, I ranked those as well. Okay? Number 1, we're going worst to best here in labels that you could see in your grocery stores when talking about or when looking for beef and dairy products. The absolute worst of them all, natural. Okay? Natural indicates no artificial ingredients or added colors by the USDA. That is it. Okay? So like some people might see natural and they're like, oh, it means that they're like living naturally like a cow. It means nothing. Like it means absolutely nothing. So if you see natural, disregard it. It doesn't mean anything. All right? Second worst, free range. Okay. Free range is a scam. I've talked to you guys about this with the chickens, what free range means for buying chicken eggs. What free range means is there's undefined outdoor access for at least 120 days per year, which is better than some operations, of course. Undefined outdoor access for at least 120 days out of the year. However, the outdoor access is undefined, which means it does not define space per animal and how many animals are outside. It doesn't define the substrate of where they are, so it can be like a concrete pad. And it doesn't define what kind of space it is. So for free range, it could mean that like a bunch of cows are standing on a concrete pad and there's just no roof. So it just doesn't really mean anything. It's just a lot of opportunity for loopholes with this label, with free range. Okay, next up, grass-fed beef. This might be confusing to you because there's a couple labels for grass-fed beef. Grass-fed beef is very, very popular right now. Okay, people want grass-fed beef right now. It's super popular. What that means is continuous access to pasture during the growing season, but there is not much other welfare stuff addressed besides their diet and their pasture access. So grass-fed beef just means like they have to eat grass for the entirety of their lives, and they have to have pasture access, but it doesn't address the other welfare stuff that we talked about earlier today. So it's very little, but if you are committed to grass-fed beef, look for this instead. A lot of people can say grass-fed beef. Not a lot of people can say American grass-fed. This is a separate independent certifier. American grass-fed is next up. Continuous access. Oh. Whoops. Weird. Where's my... It's backwards. Maximum access to grazing pasture during grazing season, grass and forage for their entire lifetime, and they abide by a third-party welfare audits annually. So what this means is there is an association that has it's a 20-page requirements thing. I read it the other day, and it's like, do you want to be an American grass-fed certified operation? And you have to apply here, and then they go out to your ranch and they do audits and they make sure you are checking off all of their boxes, and they'll give you that label. And so they do have some welfare standards, and it is more regulated than just grass-fed. This is American grass-fed. Okay, so if you really want grass-fed, look for this instead of just normal grass-fed. Okay, next. USDA Organic. USDA Organic means free access to certified organic pasture for the entire grazing season, and that their diet is all organic. Why is this a good thing? Organic means a lot of things. I think some people think that organic just means no pesticides are used. That's not true, but it does regulate which pesticides can be used. So it may mitigate the impact that those pesticides have on the environment to make sure that you're getting a cow that is only eating organic grown grains. That means that there are less pesticides going into the environment. Does that make sense? It's more regulated as well. And free access to certified organic pasture for entire grazing season. So there's more regulation because their pasture has to be certified organic as well. Okay. Next. American Humane Certified. We're getting into the big guns here. American Humane Certified means that. Okay, actually, this is really confusing because this was in my rankings. This is the first. Okay, there's no pasture access required for this label. I think most of them do have pasture access, but it's not a requirement. However, this is the first label we get up to where there's pain control required for procedures, and they're audited annually. This is still for dairy. Yeah. So this is the first and only label that we've hit so far where there's pain control required for all of the stuff that me and Connor talked about earlier. So that's why I put it so high. Okay. Next, these are my recommendations. Okay, these are the big guns. You guys have seen them before. You probably recognize them or you know them if you've watched my stream. Lucky for us, they're the same as the ones that I would recommend looking out for when you're looking for beef. Is certified humane, raised and handled. Also look for this label on eggs, and animal welfare approved by A Greener World. It's AGW. Certified humane, access to exercise areas at least 4 hours per day. They're audited annually. There's pain control required for, and some procedures like tail docking, dehorning are prohibited with certified humane operations. Okay. The best one though for dairy products and for beef products is animal welfare approved. So the one right here, right above my head. Continuous outdoor pasture access. All procedures are either prohibited or require pain control. So you either can't do it or you do it with pain control, which is like if I had to run a dairy operation for whatever reason, it would be like this. Cow and calf separation is audited. This is the only label where they have a process for separating cows and calves that is the point of it is to make it as the least stressful as possible for that mom and baby to be separated. That's the only label with an audit for cow-calf separation. And they're audited annually. And this is the only label where there are regulations for where male calves are sold. So, what I told you guys earlier about veal, this is the only label where you can have like whatever regulations and you can do whatever on your farm. This is the only label where they regulate, like, you can't sell these baby cows to the shitty operation. Like, you have to sell them to this good operation. So it's just contributing to less. Yeah. So my first recommendation is animal welfare approved. My second best recommendation is certified humane. I'm going to be honest. They're not that great. Like, even the best of the labels is still like, you know, you're like disbudding. It's just you give them some pain meds. Like, you could not, if you were like, Maya, I'm going to disbud you, but I'm going to give you some Advil, I'd be like, what? Like, that would still be terrible. You know, like, I don't know. The best is animal welfare approved and then certified humane. So that a couple times. These two, animal welfare approved first. But yeah, even the best of the labels is just like, it's still just not that great. And doing all this research, I don't know about y'all, doing all this research has definitely pushed me in this direction quite a bit, both from an animal welfare perspective and an environmental perspective. It just makes more sense to do these alternatives. And I don't mean that you need to switch, right? I don't mean that you need to like entirely switch out dairy products for these products. You don't have to go vegan right now, but try them. See what you think, right? Recommendations here. Start thinking about the labels that you're looking at. If you're still wanting to do, beef and dairy, just look out for the labels if you could. That would be great. If you can, try milk alternatives. See what you think. Okay, next time you go to Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts or whatever, just say like, could I get it with oat milk or could I get it with almond milk or soy milk, and see what you think about it. You know, if you don't really notice a difference or it's fine, maybe you just make that swap. Ideally, over time, I've changed out some of my staples to be plant-based alternatives. So I don't buy any dairy milk anymore, but I do buy pea milk. Actually, I didn't even talk to you guys about that one, which is interesting. But pea milk, because it has a lot of protein. So the dream is being able to swap out a staple in your fridge, right? I think a lot of you have you had eggs as a staple in your fridge. A lot of you have probably swapped to certified humane eggs as a staple. And if you can swap those staples, that's huge. But again, the other thing that I realize about this is that a lot of these products compared to this product are more expensive. Okay, and that's the same for eggs, certified humane eggs. It's like you have to pay more to make sure that the animal isn't abused, right? Like, am I going to buy this like vegan rice bowl for $16 or am I going to go get a Big Mac for $4? What are they now, like $7? I don't know. I understand that there's a price difference there. And so you don't need to feel bad if you're not able to make these switches and go vegan, you know, and whatever right away. I think it's great to try some alternatives, you know, and just like see what you think. And every once in a while, or maybe try to cut out beef if you can and just eat chicken because of the emissions and how much lower it is. If you can make that swap, great. Whatever you can do, whatever is reasonable for you, wonderful. But I don't expect you guys to all go vegan because of presentations like this. And I don't expect you to feel guilty either. If part of your diet is that way because of your budget. I mean, that's everybody, right? So it's valid. Teach your friends about labels and milk alternatives. Talk to them about the stuff that you learned today. If you want to, that would be great. Very cool. Spreading the word is cool. I put swap your coffee order. Every once in a while, just give it a go. You know, see what you think. And then tell your friends about Winnie. There she is. Big news. Well, not. Oh, this is the last animal quest. If you guys have questions, hashtag ask and then put your questions up. I'm going to go down to Winnie to answer some of those questions. Kayla and I, and maybe Lindsay, are we're going to try to be plant-based through all of January and then see what happens after that. December is starting. Is December tomorrow? December's tomorrow. Starting in December, I'm bringing back Meal Prep Mondays. So the reason that I'm doing that is because I need to start working in plant-based alternatives into my diet and find staples that I like and find foods and stuff that I like so that I'm ready to be vegan in January. So we're going to start testing out some vegan meals and stuff starting in December. Meal Prep Mondays come back in December, so this upcoming Monday will be the first Meal Prep Monday in a very, very long time. And we're going to try out some of these things. You'll see a lot of these alternatives. So, yeah. And tomorrow, merch launch. Everyone should have your codes if you donated $45 or more yesterday. Vegan means eggs too. No eggs. Merch launch tomorrow. You should have gotten your codes if you donated $45 yesterday. If you did not, it's because your whispers aren't open. But we're launching Christmas sweaters tomorrow and calendars tomorrow. So you can get a Christmas sweater before Christmas, and you can get calendars tomorrow as well for 2024 if you want an Alveus calendar. You can still buy a cow plushie. The transition into vegan diet can be so hard. Yeah, it definitely is hard. I think being vegetarian is pretty easy, or that's how it feels to me. I've been like mostly vegetarian for a while, but being vegan is hard. So it'll be interesting. We'll see how it goes. Do you guys want to go see Winnie? You want to go ask her some questions? We do a little swapperoo. I bet Winnie has. All right. Ready? What the heck is with the weather today? It's like, it's so humid. Is it pinned in our DMs? Oh, wicked. Thank you. Cool. God. I don't. Hello. Yeah, it's just a pain on mobile. Ow, asshole. We're going to the pasture. We're going to see Winnie, and
I'm gonna answer your questions. Neighbor is doing a, why are you looking at me like that? Neighbor is doing a burn pile today. I was gonna be like, that's why it smells like that if you were wondering. Okay, I need to go to sleep. I need more sleep. All right, where is she? Where is the baby cow? Look, cow poo. Cow poo. Look, a chicken. All right. Hi, Donk. Oh, Winnie is in a training session right now, actually. Huh? Oh. All right, I'm going to go ahead and answer this first question. We're going to go over to Winnie. You guys can see what's going on. Glacier said, are beef alternatives like Impossible beef actually environmentally better than eating beef? The answer to your question is yes. Environmentally, they are better. In terms of animal welfare, obviously infinitely better because there aren't animals involved. Are they better for you? No. Cool. You guys can watch girls work on lifting Winnie's feet up to get her feet trimmed. Hello. We're doing our Q&A right now.
Q&A! Q&A! Guys, if you smack her belly, you can hear her different stomachs.
Guys, belly ASMR.
Is her own blue man bird. I think you got some here, 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 here.
Could you guys hear that? Trash said, do you own this place or do you just work there? I am the founder and executive director. I live here. Kayla and Lindsay are animal care staff. They work here.
Thank you for shifting.
But I do own the place.
Good. That's a good proper lift.
Horsey. Bush said, what's the difference between Winnie and a dairy cow? They're different breeds, so they're bred to produce different things. Winnie's pretty stocky. She's a Red Angus cow. And then dairy cows like Holsteins and stuff, they're going to be more narrow and taller as well. And they would produce more milk than she would. Lazy Goose said, why does she put her tongue inside her nose? I think that's her like scratching her nose. Or eating it. I don't know. Cows have prehensile tongues, which means that they can grab stuff with their tongue. And they're really strong, really flexible tongues. It's like, also, they're very coarse. You ever had a cat lick you and it hurts really bad? Cows are like that times 10. Like if she truly licked me across the arm, it would cut me. Not feel good. Hi, Wayne. No, don't leave. Wait, this is about you. A few people have asked this question, if she's big enough for us to ride her. She could certainly hold up my weight, but she would not like it. And long term, it would not be good for her back because they're not like built to hold humans. But she's definitely strong enough to hold me up. But we don't ride her. Do dairy cows basically have to be pregnant over and over in order to keep producing milk? Yes. They are artificially inseminated regularly, usually annually.
Thank you for grabbing that, Ella. She wasn't supposed to run away.
I answered this pretty in depth on the stream.
but Bayless may have asked this before I answered it. My recommendation is oat milk. Soy milk is also up there.
I know you're less than thrilled with the lack of grain because, heaven forbid.
Can you make a video on vegan meals? I'm going to start doing meal prep streams every Monday, so you will see a bunch of vegan meals on my stream.
Thank you. Maybe Maya will give you some
Hi, Win.
scratches.
Winnie? Stay. Oh my god. She is. Ooh. She doesn't have to stay. It's just
Winnie.
better.
Winnie.
Do you know anything about baking with alternative milks? Had to buy whole milk the other day. I don't. Have you done any of that?
I've used replacement for buttermilk in vegan baking because you can use any type of vegan milk you want and apple cider vinegar.
She said any type of vegan milk and apple cider vinegar is an alternative for buttermilk.
Used almond milk to do that.
She's used almond milk for that.
I think that's how I made my biscuits because I made buttermilk biscuits. Vegan buttermilk biscuits. But obviously buttermilk not vegan. So here, Lindsay, scratch cow. Maybe. Okay, it's not so bad.
Yay, Winnie!
Does that feel good? You got a little bit. I don't lick me.
Said, why do cows inflate sometimes and then people have to poke them really hard to deflate them? It's, yeah, I guess inflating is not a wrong word for that. It's just a gas buildup. Same with horses. Horses will have stomach twists and they'll have gas buildup that they can't release on their own. And so you'll poke them with like a large gauge needle and it'll release the gas through that needle. She's so spoiled.
Loves it. Yeah, it's nice. It's so nice. There's nothing in there. Can you please? The Sarah's like.
This is funny. Icebound said, how do alternative milk and dairy products work? I'm pretty sure you can't milk a grain of rice or an almond. Yeah, it depends on the alternative. I think with like nut milks and stuff, there's a soaking process that happens and then they're blended and then strained. And it makes what's similar to a milk. It's not milk, right? It's not like from an animal. It's like the juices of an almond, but it looks like milk and it behaves like milk and kind of tastes like milk. But that's such a valid question. All right, let me see. I'm grabbing more. Yeah, blend them.
They like squeeze the shit out of it and then
Hi.
strain it to get just
Beep, beep.
the juices so it's not chunky.
I don't know.
Winnie, come back.
Misty Bubble said, what about cheese? Same when I'm talking about dairy and when I'm talking about milks. I'm also talking about cheese and milk products, butter as well. It takes a lot of milk to make butter and a lot of milk to make cheese. So it has all the same problems as dairy milk, unfortunately.
Let me get a dingle hopper. That's so nice. Dingle hopper? Dingleberry. I call them hoppers. Isn't dingle hopper what they call the... It's a fork. A fork? It's a fork. It's a dingleberry. Either way, I got her shit off the bed.
Yay. I'm looking for more questions that I can answer that haven't been answered.
Winnie.
There's a lot of questions.
Winnie.
Blue Egg and Ham asked about Connor. He's over there. Oh, he's leaving. Bye, Connor.
Winnie's back.
Winnie! Fawn asked how soft her ears are. They feel like the rest of, no, they're soft. They're soft.
The back is softer than the rest, but she's very fluffy.
I feel like she's softer than a horse.
Yeah, she has longer hair. So she's a little softer than a horse.
Definitely softer than the donkeys.
Someone asked this question earlier. How would you describe her personality in a few words?
Sassy.
She said, would you guys like to contribute to this question? Could you describe Winnie's personality in a few words? Zesty, sassy, spicy. Spicy was one of mine. A lot is also valid. I said relentless. Stinky.
It's not really her personality.
It's just how she is.
She clings to her.
It is her.
Like a bad trait.
She can't help it.
Hello.
Social.
And I stop. I'm sorry.
I
Social.
would say she's social.
Sorry, I stopped.
Toe breaker.
She is. She's a breaker.
She's a toe breaker. I'm loading more questions.
It's
She
really
thinks she's starving
what
all the
motivates
time.
Winnie.
Yeah,
She likes to eat.
really. I'm just gonna gum it down.
I don't think it's reload. I don't think it's loading new questions. I can just read from chat maybe.
Corner grip test. Up there.
Can we get a Winnie nail trim stream when she's comfortable with that? I mean, yeah, when he gets to that point, I don't see why not. She's got a ways to go, but she's doing really good.
Just work on her front feet.
Yeah, she's really good with her front, not her back.
But
We're working on the back
working on
still.
her back.
Bowl of grain in her face.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the way.
Doesn't acknowledge much.
It's the distraction method, but it works for now.
I would say as far as training when he goes, we try to keep a really fast pace because if she's not reinforced frequently, she gets very impatient with us and she's more likely to try to headbutt us.
Can you guys hear that?
And that's not fun.
You have a great hair.
Probably not.
Oh my
When's
That's kind of crazy.
you come in?
But when she's not hungry and she's not looking for food, she's very sweet.
Said how much does she weigh and how much will she weigh when she's fully grown?
Hug her all the time.
I think she's between 700 and 800 pounds.
Definitely fully grown now.
But yeah, this is it for her.
If anything, she's just gonna get white. Yeah.
Hopefully not.
She's very white
Hey.
already.
I actually on our way in was wondering if Winnie, if we measured her circumference, if it was taller than she is.
That's funny. It is for sure.
We measured
Yeah.
all the way around.
Hi.
I have one of those like
She's wider than she is tall.
clothes.
Does she get a lot of ticks? I've never seen a tick on Winnie.
We just have a problem with flies.
A lot of flies.
I haven't seen very many ticks out here.
Look out,
I've only
chat.
seen one.
You thirsty?
She's coming through.
Are you done? She's done.
We're ASMRing. Chat, she's going to dwink. She's going for a dwink.
Slurping.
Some people are really surprised to watch animals drink because I think they all drink like dogs with their tongue. But like horses, cows, donkeys, they slurp. Ah, it's nice. Are you afraid? Serrano wants a drink as well, but he's a little scared. Why are you acting like you're scared to drink? Because I'm sitting here? I'm sorry. Wait, I'll leave. I'll leave. Look, I'm leaving. He changed his mind. No, he's going back. Sometimes it's safer if you don't take a direct route to the trough. You gotta slalom. Slurp. That's so weird. You have to sneak up to the water so it doesn't know you're there. What on earth? Scary stuff. Yeah. The trough's not usually there, so he doesn't trust it anymore. And it's windy and the water's moving. It's like the ocean. It's scary. He's going again. No.
It's the same spot. It's the same thing. You've been drinking out of for years.
It has been years. Alright, I'll figure it out. Don't worry. Winnie with the big head. Do you guys have any questions? You can type them in chat at this point. I don't have that bot open anymore.
I love her.
Winnie!
I love Winnie.
Georgie does not produce milk. Hello.
You got hay in your hair, dude. Is it your fault? I think it's your fault. Why? Have fun, Winnie.
Hello.
I needed to
Yeah.
do a favor.
Step on me. Favorite vegan fast food option? My favorite was the orange chicken from Panda Express when they had Beyond Orange Chicken, but then they took it away from the stores near me and I was really sad. So I don't know. Can Winnie be milked or does she have to be pregnant first? She has to be pregnant first to produce milk. So she will never produce milk because we're never going to breed her. Ma'am? You have to watch your toesies, especially when you're wearing Crocs. Who does Winnie get along best with in the pasture? I don't know. Maybe the donkeys? Guys, a Winnie Christmas sweater is launching tomorrow, by the way. You can get a Winnie Christmas sweater, and it's her pushing a snowball. And it's embroidered. Winnie hug.
She's nice. Baby cow.
She's heavy. Even her head. Like, I'm like, oh my god. Like lifting up her head right now. Ah!
Heavy baby cow.
She's like, don't say that about me. I'm sorry.
She's cute.
Big ol' head. My stream schedule is it in this chat too? I don't know. The CEO schedule? Might just be in Alveus chat. Wide load. All right, guys. We'll go back up to the studio. Serrano's still fighting with this water trough. Oh, he's given up. No? Try again. Is it scary? You want me to move it back so it's not scary anymore? I'm not gonna do that. All right, he'll work it out. You guys can watch him on the Alveus cameras if you want. Okay, Serrano. Okay, Acero. Hello. Man, stuff is going on out here today. What the heck? What do you guys think? Did you learn something? I really hope that you learned something. I'd be really sad if you didn't. Was a lot. Yeah. A lot of information. Go try your alternative milks. Do. I learned how to castrate a bull. Yeah, that probably is not information that you guys need, I recognize. But it's information nonetheless. I used to, okay, don't come for me. I was a child, but I used to band goats. That's how we castrated goats when I was a kid. And I used to disbud goats as well. I didn't do disbudding actually, but my goats used to get disbudded with a electric disbudder. There's a lot of methods that like people just think are okay that I would never ever ever do now. You know? But you don't know when people tell you that's how it is. So yeah. Thank you, Space. All right, guys. I have one last thing to do. Should I use this mic?
Oh, yeah, let's swap.
This one?
Yeah.
Swapping. Oh, I guess we can just do it like this. I don't know why I was going to the... Hello? Did it swap? We are swapped. Can you just run it from here? Can you just do it from here? Thank you guys so much for being here to listen. I know that's a lot to learn about, and I know you don't have to spend your time like learning from me. It means a lot that you guys are all here, and it means a lot to me that I can do research like that and share it with you, because I do think it's really important. I think especially with the demographic on Twitch, one of the most important things that I can do as an educator with this demographic is telling you about your consumer choice, you know, and how your purchasing power matters. So yeah, it means a lot to me to be able to do presentations like this. Weird to think that I won't be doing an Animal Quest next month. But I do have a new show that I'm writing that I'm going to start in January. So yeah. Will there be a test on this? No. There will not. Just get more ambassadors? We will. Don't worry. Don't worry. Yeah, new show. I am going to go out and do IRLs. I think my idea is to teach you guys about like specific things that you can do or that you can learn about, like shade grown coffee and palm oil and stuff in stores, but I want to actually go to those businesses and talk to them about how they operate and why they operate that way. We'll do some like calling back into Alveus to tie in the ambassadors, but I think that the new show will be a combination of the recommendations section from Animal Quest and Conservation Uncharted, but hopefully all in Texas. So that'll start in January. It's called Saving the World for Dummies. Dummies with a YS, because IES is trademarked, and YS is spelled wrong and it's not trademarked, but I think that's funnier anyway. So the first episode, I contacted this coffee shop that's doing all shade-grown coffee. Shade-grown coffee is way better for the environments that they're grown in. It means that you don't have to cut down a bunch of trees to grow coffee, and it provides habitat for birds and stuff like that. So it's just like a better method of buying coffee. I found a coffee shop that does shade-grown coffee. So I want to go like do me learning how to be a barista for a day over there, and then calling back here and talking to Connor, Kayla, or Lindsay about the birds here, the parrots here, and how shade-grown coffee would affect their wild counterparts. So that'll be the first episode, hopefully in January 2024. Yeah. All right, guys. Do I need to do this? Okay. Really quick. Bear with me.
Well, I don't know who's gonna clean that up.
It had to be
But you
done
gotta
today.
respect the sheer chaos of it, don't you?
His
Why
voice
is
sounds
it
so familiar.
Satisfying to break stuff. Why do we get a kick out of smashing apart a piñata or popping bubble wrap? Whoa! This is what Swedish developer Tuxedo Labs was
Oh,
wondering.
yeah.
They put together what
Wow.
we're looking at here. Teardown. A real-time physics simulation game with fully destructible environments. Wait, is someone gonna do something about that?
Ka-chow.
There we go. Anyway, does destruction make us feel powerful? Is it a way to release the frustrations of everyday life? Maybe it's about instant gratification or the beauty of disorder. Turns out, the team didn't need a lot of fancy research to prove one undeniable fact. Breaking stuff is fun. And the bigger the stuff, the bigger the fun. That's why we play games, right? To have fun. You feel that? That's pure satisfaction.
Wow.
And we don't want to just knock things down. No. We want to build them up, too. You know, the whole circle of life thing. So Tuxedo Labs is working away. They craft a story built around heist and demolition objectives. And boom! They've got a critically acclaimed hit. In Teardown, so many people play, create, and share their experiences together. We spend our days working, shoring things up, establishing and keeping order. But here, with us, here it's okay just to tear it all down.
This is what you guys want?
Available now on PlayStation 5,
Available now.
Xbox Series X, and Series S.
Nice. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys. Thank you for the raid, Pizza Princess. Appreciate that. I'm ending stream right now, but don't go anywhere because I'm raiding into Alveus. If you want to see the animals on the live cams, you can see them. We're at an animal sanctuary. You want to go see the donkeys or the foxes or the parrots or the frog? Here you go. Thank you guys so much for being here. I know it's a lot to listen to. I really do appreciate you guys sticking around.